What is up, Republic of Gamers? Hello and welcome to RG Pulse, the weekly podcast where we dive into all things tech and gaming. I'm your host, Solid Jake, and this week we've got Whitson and Jeff joining once again to dive into gaming news, tech news, and Z690 motherboards, plus another slew of products that were just announced within the last 24 hours. So let's just dive right into the tech news. I think into the gaming news. I think we've got something hot off the press today. This might seem like a big or small thing depending on how you take it, but PlayStation PC is officially a tag on Steam. We now have God of War announced to be coming to PC in January, which is a big deal. That game came out in 2018, so it's nearly like we're looking at 3+ years old. And Horizon Zero Dawn, I think those are the only two big like PlayStation 4 exclusives.
I believe Days Gone was also ported to PC, and that was a PlayStation exclusive. And I think so. Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone were on, when you look at them on Steam, they were listed under PlayStation Mobile or something was the developer, right? And now it's officially listed as PlayStation PC, which is a sign. It's a small change that's a big sign. Yeah. And we kind of have already seen this going along. They mentioned that God of War was coming to PC. We know that there is some other stuff theoretically coming, but it shows a dedication to PC gaming that we have not really seen from PlayStation before on this level. And that's super exciting because they have some great exclusive games.
I mean, God of War, I'm going to say it again. It's honestly probably the best single-player game I've ever played.
Single-player game. Yep.
We talked about God of War last week.
Yeah.
I feel like this is just going to be a thing that we talk about every week now.
I'm looking forward to my PC play.
It's really exciting. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to just take this stuff and play it on my PC. So it's really cool.
I know. I'm like, this might be enough to get me to wait for Spider-Man 2. I'm not sure.
Oh no.
Yeah, because the Spider-Man games are like, again, you hear so many good things about them. It's like, well, I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm just gonna have to.
I actually do have a PlayStation now. So, but I kept it specifically for these games. Like, do I need it anymore? I'm not sure. So I don't know. Tough call for me. How long do I want to wait for some of these games is the thing, because I know that they're still gonna. I don't know if they're gonna keep it to be like 3 or 4 years until they release some of these games. Like, is Spider-Man 2 gonna be another 3 or 4 years after its PlayStation release, or are they gonna shrink that as they continue to commit to PC gaming? I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna sell my PS5 just yet for that reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't get rid of it yet. Wolverine. I mean, I think they'll probably keep at least a year cycle between PC release.
At least.
Right. So,
but if it was a year, like I could wait a year. I wait a year for most games anyway.
Yeah.
But if it's like 4 years, I don't know if I can really wait that long. I did that last time and I regretted it. Like, I wish I had played God of War and Spider-Man sooner, because I was just like itching to play them for so long.
Good games. Speaking of good games, I'm a big Stardew Valley fan. I mean, Concerned Ape is a legend. He's made, so many fun memories just playing Stardew Valley over the years. And I normally won't like put audio on stream, but I just feel obligated to get this sweet music, because he is just a talented person. He's got this amazing aesthetic that he's created with Stardew Valley, and he's brought it back. It's very retro. It's very unique in its own right as well. And Haunted Chocolatier, which is such a random premise for a game, is his official new video game. It's not a sequel to Stardew Valley. It's just a new game. We don't know if it's the same world. Well, maybe we do, but I don't know if it's the same world. It seems like this is the same world, same kind of slimes, same kind of aesthetic. But you're collecting chocolate ingredients like, nectar and milk and cocoa beans, and then you're making chocolate, and you have ghosts that work your shop. It's so very random.
This is incredibly specific.
I know, but I love it. I mean, look at these ghosts. Yeah. They're so happy.
It looks very comforting. It looks very
Jake, you didn't put the giveaway timer on stream.
It's on the other scene. It's not on this scene.
It looks very cozy, which I think is true of Stardew Valley too. I can't say for sure because I haven't played Stardew Valley.
Oh man, you're missing out. You really need to.
I haven't played it either, but I know that it's one of those games that you can just like hashtag no life
You really can.
That's what's so crazy about the fact that this is all made by one guy. Like it's incredibly impressive for any video game to be made by one person alone. But a video game that you can get this many just sheer hours and hours out of is even crazier.
Like my playtime on that game has got to be around 200 hours. It's really
I don't think I've played any game for 200 hours.
The thing is like some nights, like, you know, instead of watching TV, the wife and I will just like fire up and play some, and the co-op is really fun. Like you can work towards things together. Like we've done multiple saves. We now have
it's co-op.
Yeah, we have a brewery in our new save, right? We're just farming hops. And
of course, you of all people would have a brewery in your start. Like,
yeah, of course. Like, why not? Like, why not? I mean, it's a farm, and we're making beer, right? But it's just a different. You can play the game in different ways. He's added a lot of content. So, Haunted Chocolatier. That's the big news of the week from my perspective.
Yeah. It wasn't quite as big of a news week as last week in the games section, but that's okay because we got a lot of tech news. We
do. Is there any? I'm just trying to make sure we didn't miss any big gaming news.
I think there's a new Mario Party.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
I missed that news completely.
The last Mario Party game I played was 2, so I'm a little behind.
Wow. that was N64 probably? That was
it was. And I think I just played Mario Party 2 for the first time like a month ago. Before that, it was just I played Mario Party 1 and then I stopped.
Yeah, apparently there is. So
I even heard a rumor. Oh, you know what? I did hear about this because I heard a rumor that they're bringing back the tug of war game with a warning to like watch your hand if you're like spinning the control stick, because back in the day, like I was in like 4th or 5th grade when that game came out, and we all just like ripped our hands to shreds playing like the games where you needed to spin the control stick. It was a problem to the point where I think Nintendo was like giving away free gloves to people.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But apparently it's like a wrap up of all the best of all the games. So like it distills all the good stuff and leaves out all the meh stuff.
Honestly, yeah, I'm cool with that. Especially because Mario Party went in kind of a weird direction in the later games, from what I understand. Oh my gosh, please calm down. 8 says he still has his glove, the N64 glove.
Yeah. But my friend group's really gonna love playing this, so we'll look forward to it. A
remaster would be awesome. Like I imagine it's for Switch. I don't have a Switch yet, but when I do, this is one of the games that like I could actually see my wife and I playing. She likes Mario Party.
One of these, it's always one game. It's like, okay, this is the one that's gonna get you.
Yeah, right now it's like it's tough because so many of the Switch games that I want to play, I can actually play on like Wii U or Wii. So I just like grabbed a used Wii U and I'm looking forward to playing a lot of those games. With the exception of like Mario Odyssey, which like I will get around to one day, but I still have a lot of catching up to do. I've never played Galaxy, so like that's next on my list.
I'm not a Mario games fan. Just not into them.
It's so weird.
Did you have a childhood? I don't understand.
I think Mario 64 is great, but I think everything after that was meh.
I mean, I'm right there with Jake, honestly, because we didn't. It just wasn't a thing we were into. We were into other.
That's
franchises.
fair. So, I mean, to be clear too, I played Mario 64. I don't think I played any of the 3D Marios after that. My like nostalgia for Mario is all of the like really retro like side scrollers and the new side.
I know
I
played those.
I played the new
I think
ones.
those were good, but I think like Sunshine and
Those are my
Galaxy and those games, I just didn't care. I just wasn't into it.
Odyssey is really good. That's the first like 3D Mario game I've played all the way through. It's really good. So like if you're gonna choose one,
I've never been like a huge platformer buff though. That's not really my cup of tea. But that's why we got all kinds of games.
Odyssey.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised because once again, Jake, you and I just completely incompatible.
Polar opposites when it comes to games. Yeah. We just really like the opposite things. It's fine. That makes good flavor.
But we're still friends, so it's okay.
I mean,
can have different tastes.
I look down on you,
but by that I mean we're still coworkers, and you're forced to pretend like you like me.
Nice,
because we work together. But yeah, okay.
Best
so
console
that's
ever
also
made.
Good gaming news.
Best console ever made. Go, Whitson. Go.
I stopped getting consoles after like the N64. Best console ever made is PC. Like, what do you want from me? That's
all right.
The only constant in my life has been PC gaming.
Jeff,
So this is going to sound really weird, but after this weekend, I'm pretty thoroughly convinced.
You're going to say the Wii.
Yeah, you're right. Because
That's okay. I don't know my answer, but it's not that.
The Wii is an incredible console.
Here's the thing. My buddy, who we talked about last week, and we did a 21-hour charity stream with over the past weekend, has the entire Wii library, which it's thousands of games, right?
Yeah.
He's got them all in his upstairs workspace.
I saw the pictures.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And going through that, it's not that there's there are standout games on the platform, but there's just a bunch of weird stuff. Like, it's just, how did this get made?
Shovelware.
Why does this exist? Yeah, it's shovelware. Some of it is shovelware. Others are just downright weird. And it's like, how did this ever get greenlighted by anybody? And it's like, it's just delightfully weird when like a group of people is like, oh, you really need to play this one weird title that didn't get a lot of purchase. And you do it, and it's fun. And it's like, oh, this is like a truly...
I would even put WarioWare in that category.
Yeah. WarioWare is like the reason you
Nintendo
own
first
a
party
Wii.
title. Dude, when my sister got a Wii, that game was already discontinued, and I was like, I'm going on eBay to buy you this game because
it's incredible.
It's the reason to get a Wii.
Right.
It is. It's incredible.
So it's not that there's like a standout. It's not like there's there are standout games for the Wii again. Sure. But it's just this weird. You can walk into this library of games and just pick something at random, and it will either be total crap or it will be, this instantly memeable, good in spite of itself kind of thing. Or there's just, there are just some great games that never caught on. And it's so interesting to just sort of get, or just sort of pinball through that library and see what's in it. Because some of that stuff has never been reissued and will never be reissued. And the only way to play it is to pick up a physical copy. So yeah, it's from a cerebral sort of chin strokey, if you were to give me one console and the entire library and say play through all of these, I would probably I'm pretty convinced now that that's the Wii.
I feel like I would not having owned a lot of those consoles in the middle. I feel like I would have to go with PS2 or something, just again for the sheer volume of the library. Yeah. And I also feel like that was such a huge turning point in games.
I feel like most people would land around N64 or PS2.
I think they would too. N64 was a little bit too early. N64 is kind of looked down upon today by a lot of people. It has the nostalgia factor for a lot of us. But in terms of the size of quality games in its library, and it was still kind of early in the 3D era, so it was finding its footing a lot.
Yeah, but you think about
Ocarina of came out,
you think about Ocarina of Time and Mario 64 and
sure, it's all still great
that was
games.
The leap forward. I feel more than anything, but
yeah.
But I don't think there's as much of a volume of games like that as there is on something like the PS2.
The N64 has not aged well.
Yeah,
and that was
really.
Yeah, that was our console. Growing up, I just don't think it's aged that well.
If I were to pick a game from my childhood, I'd probably go Super Nintendo before I'd go N64 if I had to only play one console, right?
I would go with the Sega Dreamcast, which is
I actually love the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast has a solid library.
It really was a console that just kind of the price point wasn't right. It was released at a bad time. It did a lot of things.
I got it for $30.
Yeah, a lot. I know most people got them for very cheap, and it just failed pretty much out of the gates because it was.
Yeah.
It was basically Sega trying to skip the generation because Sony and PlayStation PlayStation and Nintendo were kind of aligned with their launches, and they tried to skip, but everybody had already just invested in these other consoles, and they were trying to be.
And by that point, they kind of knew the PS2 was coming out.
Yeah, and but it had internet, it had a lot of cool things. But anyways, we can transition away from retro gaming talk because we do have a lot to discuss today.
Yeah, we should do a retro gaming episode.
We definitely can. We'll
have a lot more to talk about.
We have a lot of stuff on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Yes, on the complete opposite of retro gaming. So talk about brand new stuff.
Before we dive into our main topic today, which is Z690, is there any other tech news that is worth
this is the only tech
bringing
news
up.
that
No,
matters
but I'm
today.
serious. Like I can't think of anything else that's like.
It's been kind of a quiet week. It's been kind of a quiet week.
There was just a Facebook announcement, and I don't know if there was any VR stuff
Okay.
announced or not, but I didn't watch it.
Let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk about it. Okay, cool.
Nothing good.
That's all I needed to know.
Okay. Going just want to point out again, guys, we are doing giveaways on Twitch only. 11 minutes from now will be the first giveaway. We're gonna do it via keyword in chat, but it is in Twitch chat, so twitch.tv/AsusROG if you would like to participate there. YouTube does not have the giveaways. Okay, so looking at the launch, this is brand new stuff. Z690s are a reality at last.
Yeah. Z690 motherboards, 12th gen Intel Core CPUs to go in them.
And DDR5.
Yeah, I feel like we need to maybe start with the CPUs to kind of give some context as to like what's going on with the motherboards here, right? So Alder Lake.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, Alder Lake. This
completely
is
new design.
Yeah, so this is
Big deal.
A heretofore unseen kind of, not just, I mean, we have new CPU cores, right? But also the sort of SoC, or, you know, the SoC is laid out in a way we've never seen from a desktop processor before, right? Because in the past, up until now, for, you know, all the way back to the days of single core CPUs, you know, multi-core CPUs to some degree on the desktop, that architecture, you know, that the paradigm has been like, okay, if you're going to do core, those cores, those units of processing power are all going to be the same. They're all going to have the same capabilities. You know, they're going to move in lockstep, you know, all that fun stuff. So, you know, if you're a program executing, like, and you get assigned to a core by the operating system, you're going to enjoy the same resources that end up on any other CPU core, right? And mobile phones, you know, using the ARM instruction set, or mobile phone SoC, the ARM instruction set, you know, in recent years have started to move from that sort of uniform design to, okay, we really have to care about power. We really have to care about power. And so one of the ways we're going to do that is instead of using this uniform design, we're going to use like, okay, we'll throw one or two really beefy, powerful cores on the SoC, and then maybe do one or two more tiers of resources where it's like, okay, we have like smaller ARM cores that can do less, but they also consume less power doing it. So like for background tasks, less demanding work, you know, you have like these mid or low power cores that are available to execute those tasks, like consume as little power as possible. But that's not, and so what Alder
because
Lake,
battery life is everything.
Yeah.
On a phone.
Battery life is everything, right?
Like it's all I care about anymore.
Right. And so what the 12th gen core architecture kind of brings to the table for the first time on desktop is this hybrid design where you have these, you know, a number of what Intel calls performance cores, ranging from, you know, on the parts that just launched, you know, 6 performance cores to 8 performance cores. But you also have these 2 blocks of efficiency cores, which use what Intel calls an Atom core design. You know, so you can get 4 or 8 efficiency cores to play with as well. And so,
Atom, that's a throwback.
Yeah, and so this is really a sea change for a desktop processor. For
people who kind of haven't followed this, you know, for years and years, you know, we're talking about having these smaller efficiency cores is really useful on something like a phone because battery life is everything, and on a laptop as well. But today we're talking about desktop motherboards. So what's the advantage of this on a desktop machine where battery life is actually not a concern?
Well, it's really kind of interesting because like the way Intel put it yesterday is like, you know, you have I think you have 2 types of work, right? You have things that really are sensitive to latency and getting done quickly and having like all the resources thrown at them as soon as you possibly can, right?
Right.
And for that, you want a performance core. But there's other tasks that are kind of steady state work. They're more kind of throughput sensitive, say like video encoding, you know, or stream encoding and stuff like that. You don't really care how quickly it gets done so much that it just gets done, period. And so,
sounds like a guy who's never tried to upload a video to YouTube at 0 hour.
Yeah, that's
Go faster, go faster, go faster.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
the last minute renders are the worst.
Right. So, but when and like if you were doing a video encode, I think paradigm again, you'd have Premiere in the foreground. It would be run on the performance cores, and you'd still be fine. But like if you're gaming first and streaming second, and you're doing CPU encoding, for example, of your video, you don't want those performance cores to be consumed by your video encoding. You want all the game,
right?
So that you're because like so many games are single thread limited.
Yeah.
You really want those game threads on the highest performance, fastest running core that you can get. So like this distributes, or this new design isn't, again, this is just me. I don't think it's so much about power as just like having different types of resources available to serve these different workloads most appropriately.
Well, which is fascinating because, like, especially for streaming, I can see this making a massive impact. And
yeah,
you're making my mouth water a little bit just hearing about this.
Yeah. And when we say efficiency cores, like, don't get the wrong idea. Weak. These aren't like, they are, according to Intel's projected performance data, they are essentially the same like Skylake CPU cores, which is what we've known from like the 6th gen all the way up to the 10th gen core processors. So these are not like weak by any sense, or in any sense of the word. Like, they are, they're capable CPU cores. So having like 4 or 8 of those on your 12th gen processor, it's like having like a Core i7 9700K just sitting there
alongside
alongside these 8 extra powerful brand new architectural cores that are like 28% faster than Skylake on a clock for clock basis.
That's crazy.
So like these are really massive. This is a really massively, actually, in its fully enabled form, like, this is a massively powerful SoC.
Yeah. And And I think we'll have even more performance data as we're able to dig into this stuff. To
be clear, this is all Intel's. This is all Intel. News from yesterday. So like this, I'm not telling you anything you haven't already heard.
Right. First of all, Jeff, your voice is breaking up just a little bit.
Can you like change your gate a little bit? It just every once in a while it's cutting you out for some reason.
Sure.
Yeah.
This
is really cool.
Let me do that.
So yeah, just kind of looking at this now, is it automatically going to kind of determine how to use the cores for you, or is that something you need to manually set?
So this is a whole other thing, which is really kind of exciting. So Intel has built it's like typically this kind of task is handled by the operating scheduler. But to make this all work better together, Intel has actually devoted an area of the die on the 12th gen to what they call the thread director, which is this, which is sort of this dispatch engine that has been, it's got an algorithm on it that has been trained to look at varying types of instruction flows and say, like, where could this go best?
Huh.
And it works with the operating system, I think, to say, hey, this should go on an efficiency core, or this should go on a performance core based on all the, these just all of this built-in data or these built-in heuristics.
I mean, that's awesome, because if you're using like an older version of Windows, or if you're using Linux or something like that, you don't want to have to wait for these kinds of things to be built in.
Well, so the thing is, though, it works best with Windows 11.
Okay. That makes sense.
And this may, and again, there's nothing saying the Linux community couldn't develop something to take better advantage of this, but
sure.
It's definitely,
but it'll just take like 10 years.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. Dig it. I was a Linux user. I remember.
This is really, if you're waiting for a reason to upgrade to Windows 11, and you're going to upgrade your system to use the CPUs, you're gonna want Windows 11 for the best.
Yeah. You can use Windows 10, but
yeah. It just won't be as optimal.
Yep.
So, there's all this, there's all this die area, there's all this with all these heuristics in it at the hardware level. So this is how this is where this work should go, which again is something we haven't really seen before. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is I feel like we've it's been a long time since we've seen something, especially from Intel, that was like this much of a like paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In their chips. So like that's really exciting to see.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we start talking about motherboards?
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
Because like the cores are only part of the equation, but we've also got DDR5 RAM.
Yeah.
We've got
to use any of this, you're going to need one of our motherboards.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you know, I feel like the Z590s were gorgeous, and these Z690s are they're next level.
Dude, these are some of the craziest, most awesome looking motherboards I have ever seen.
Like I'm legitimately like thinking like, okay, how much could I sell my CPU and motherboard for? If I'm to change to Intel right now, because like
the thing that it's rough because a lot of them have these really, really cool designs and lights on the heatsink over by the IO. And I can't see that on my machine because I have such a big honking heatsink on my CPU. I got to switch to water cooling just to switch to one of these motherboards so I can see all these awesome like some of these have like lighting designs on them that are almost like reminiscent of the Anime Matrix on
it is the Anime,
on the G14.
It is the Anime Matrix.
Oh, okay. I just had, you know what? I hadn't seen that branding used on it, so my bad.
Yeah. So,
but my mind was in the right place.
Right. The Maximus Extreme Glacial and Maximus Extreme actually have on the IO shroud an Anime Matrix display.
And on the
it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
on the South Bridge. The chipset is that like
I honestly don't know if that's a stylistic choice or actually the Matrix. I know for sure it's the IO shroud.
Like
okay.
I think it's a unified appearance, but yeah. You can use that display just like you do on the G14. You play custom graphics and animations with it and stuff. It's really but dude, like the Glacial. Jake, can you pull up like the Glacial?
It's in the article, Jake. If you go to the article and you scroll down, you can get a really big picture of the Glacial, and it is amazing looking. Jeff, you're still cutting out just a little bit.
I don't know what's up with that.
The Glacial is like a full cover motherboard CPU, and it is baller.
Yes, we've made Extreme Glacials in the past, and this is the obviously our newest iteration of it.
I know it just like blows my mind every time.
The custom, this is full custom loop, and we work with EK water blocks on this, but my goodness, it's gorgeous.
Just, oh man, like I've never wanted to build a liquid cooled system more in my life.
I know.
But the Extreme, it's got the live dash, it's got the that whole full coverage EK water block. Ooh, excuse me, I'm gonna cough.
That's okay.
You do it. Jeff is recovering from doing a 24-hour charity stream where they raised $121,000 for Extra Life charity over the past weekend. So 21 hours of gaming for someone in their 30s, that's going to kick your butt.
You're entitled to cough.
You're allowed to be sick.
It got me so worn out that I did come
naturally
down with
brutal.
Anyway.
So I saw that the Extreme Glacial has 5 M.2 slots. Like I don't even know. Like what? That's so insane.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, I think there are 3 on the board, and then we have the DIMM.2 card that goes in a little slot by the memory. You can see it up there.
Up here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then you just plug that in.
And you put the other 2 in there.
It's like so incredible.
So, on the motherboard side, like the big thing, that the 12th gen CPUs enable is, we talk a lot about PCI Express 4.0. These implement from the CPU, you now have 16 lanes of PCI Express 5.0, which doubles the bandwidth again over 4.0. So you have this insane amount of peripheral connectivity bandwidth for every lane of PCI Express 5.0 that we tap. Like I think a full by 16 slot is 512 gigabits per second. Versus 256 for PCI Express 4.0. So like this is just an insane amount of data that you can move.
I feel like I just got on PCIe 4.0 and DDR4. Like maybe this is just because I'm old and like actually the past 10 years has gone by too fast. But it's crazy like the leaps that we're making.
Yeah. So like next gen SSDs, next gen graphics cards,
yes,
you'll be fully ready for that kind of thing going forward, and
RAM too.
Yeah, so DDR5, like DDR. Everybody wants. Yeah, I think again, a new DDR memory standard is one of these sea changes in the industry. You don't see, maybe see that once per generation. Like a DDR4 has been around since when was that implemented? I think with
A few years ago now.
The 59, the i7, the Broadwell E desktop, or
it's been like 13
desktop.
years or something.
Yeah. It's definitely been a while. I don't think it's been that long, but
it's not been
it's
that
definitely
long.
been.
I think it's been 7 years,
5 to 8 years,
something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, we have DDR5, which massively increases RAM bandwidth, greatly raises speeds, ideally lowers power. It has a whole new architecture.
And I feel like DDR5 is particularly interesting for these boards because we have a new, what is it, AEMP?
Asus Enhanced Memory Profile.
So this is kind of like XMP, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, where you can kind of like just go select like a one click, this is the speed and latency that I want. But it's exclusive to our boards, and we have two profiles, one optimized for bandwidth and one optimized for latency, which kind of makes it easier to get the most out of your DDR5. Which is really awesome and really cool that it's, as far as I know, exclusive to our boards. So that's really exciting, and I would love to dig into that.
Yeah,
like
something I think
get some testing hands on that.
That's really cool. That this is again enhancement of the sort of easy overclocking capabilities that we already offer. Like AI overclocking for the CPU is still here with Z690. Again, that's one-click optimization. I've tried it with 590 and 490, and it's again like I've done manual overclocks. I know how arduous that can be, and being able to get like 95% of the way there in one click is a huge thing. So like if you're looking to overclock Alder Lake, and you don't want to spend a lot of time on it, like get an Asus board.
Especially because I imagine doing it manually would take even more time now because the efficiency cores are overclockable as well.
Yeah, they are.
Like, so you're overclocking a bunch of different things separately.
Yep. If you love to tweak, there's a lot to tweak. But if you just want to do like a one and done kind of deal, we'd make that possible for you too.
I'm definitely past that point in my life where I want to do it manually. I had a lot of fun with that for like 10 years. I've overclocked almost every CPU I've ever owned, and I'm kind of like, I want a one click. Just
I feel like I need to do it once because I've never done it. I feel like I need to.
And it's not just, the nice thing about AI overclocking, it's not just like, it's we put AI in the name for a reason. Like it's watching like the effectiveness of your cooler over time. It's it's watching the effects of ambient temperatures. So it's a dynamic. It's a dynamic system. It's not just like, oh, well, I know these settings will work for you. It's watching over time and saying, let's optimize this to make sure you continue to be stable.
I need to step back. I've overclocked before in the past. AI overclocking is the way to do it now. I thought we were talking about liquid cooling because I was looking at our motherboard again, and I was just thinking about like creating a custom loop for me. So yes, I've overclocked in the past, but yeah, no, AI overclocking. When I built this machine, I didn't even try it. I was like, no, just gonna AI overclock. We actually did that on stream. We did some testing to see how it compares.
Oh, really?
We did. Jeff and I did this a while ago, and the AI overclocking actually won. It actually won out. Yeah, so it was very close, but it was actually just like 1% better.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
it's way easier. So yeah, if you get one of these boards, you want to overclock, like just slap a big cooler on there, like our Region 2 360, and hit AI overclocking, and you're done.
You're good.
Yep.
Yeah,
and get back into your games.
Yep.
Man, that's some of these. Look at this, man. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. So that's the ROG Strix. Cool. That's the Strix Z690-E gaming Wi-Fi. We have this new dual layer plexiglass or plexi. Yeah, I guess it's plexiglass, but we'll just say it's plexi inlay on the I/O shroud there. So like the light is going to hit those different layers in different ways, and it's this really like dimensional effect. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jake, did we announce that we were doing the giveaway?
Yeah. It's
okay.
It was on screen in the other one. It was
on
active.
Screen. I just wasn't sure if we actually said it.
I didn't verbally say it. No, I didn't want to interrupt the conversation. But in Twitch chat, we are doing the giveaway. It's still open. Glacial in all caps to enter the giveaway. This is for a $20 Games Planet voucher. But if you go to the official landing page that we have for this event, there are other hardware giveaways happening. It's not part of this stream. If you go to the rog.asus.com/event/break all limits, I guess you could just Google break all limits Asus, you could find it, or I can link it in chat for you guys right now, which I will do. But this,
I feel like we should mention that the Asus North America YouTube channel is going to be doing some deep dives on like each individual motherboard, I think. So if you really are in the market for one of these and you want to figure out which one is right for you, we have an article on the site, but also they're going to be doing some really, really deep dives on the Asus North America YouTube channel. I believe.
But there is a Gleam campaign with is an event quiz giveaway is what we're calling it. And you can find the information in that link I just put in chat, where that's going to have hardware giveaways. So learn more there. But yeah, lots of cool stuff going on. We're just doing 20 other Game Splendid vouchers. Glacial all caps to enter there, because let's face it, the Glacial motherboard is once again the coolest one. Like, it's just so gorgeous.
Tough call, but that does look awesome.
I love it. I mean,
set it up with your Moonlight White peripherals.
I don't know if we have a price yet. I haven't seen anything public yet on that front. So
pricing data will come later. Sit tight.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the Glacial is awesome, but I love the Anime Matrix on the other ones, and even the Strix with the Plexi. Like, I don't know. Even though it's not like a quite as intense as the Glacial, I just think it looks so cool.
It does. It really does.
Also, on the Maximus Apex, that ROG heatsink, I don't know why I think that's like the coolest thing ever.
You know, that's probably the board I would...
This is the one you're looking at right now.
Yeah, I think this is probably the board I would get personally. Well, it depends on how many USB ports there is. How many USB ports we got?
The Apex, Jake, I don't know if this one would be the best fit for you. Because the Apex is the hardcore overclocking board.
Okay.
Yeah, they just look awesome. But
yeah, it really does look awesome.
I would probably go Strix myself.
Yeah, the Apex is, it's built for extreme overclocking. It like looks fast.
Breaking.
Yeah.
Because
it looks fast.
I use a Hero board currently, and I love it, but unless I can convince our colleague at Intel to give me a free CPU, I'm not changing motherboards. But there's a chance. I can beg. I'm good at that.
Yeah. You could probably make it happen for you.
You did get yourself a 3080 Ti, Jake. You made it happen.
Well,
I think another thing to be aware of with the 12th gen stuff that is directly relevant for the motherboards is that Intel has, I think, clarified how its power ratings, like TDPs, are going to work for these in a way that's a lot easier to understand than it has been in the past.
Oh, really?
Like, there's a base power, which I think is similar to the old TDP, which is what you're hearing. When we say these are 125 watt CPUs, like that's basically equivalent to the old TDP. But there's a new figure called max power for turbo, and that is just basically saying what's the expected amount of power that the CPU will have to dissipate if it's running with all core turbo.
Okay.
So for these processors, it's 241 watts. So like 125 watts is the base power, and 241 watts is the peak turbo power. Because these things can boost up a lot. These things can go up to,
that's a lot more useful.
These things can go up to 5.1 gigahertz on all of the performance cores, which is insane.
That's wild.
That's nuts.
It's insane. But yeah, so if you're looking to buy a CPU cooler, though, that base power figure doesn't tell you a whole bunch. So it's nice to know what the peak is that it'll have to dissipate. And I think people are going to look at that figure and say, "Oh, wow, that's a lot of power." But the fact of the matter is, we've already kind of been experiencing this because that was going on in the background.
Yeah, it just wasn't on the spec sheet before.
Right. And so it doesn't
mean that this is a crazy, going to be way hotter than their last CPU or whatever.
Right. This has already been, the case. Like, if your motherboard has the power delivery circuitry to deal with it, as ours do, and you have the CPU cooling to deal with it, as most people already do because they're buying liquid coolers or
AIO
these massive,
is like the thing now.
They're buying AIOs or these massive Noctua heat sinks or whatever. You already have the parts in place. This is just telling you what you already, basically what you already know in a really clear and straightforward way. But yeah, if you're looking to run a 12th gen processor all out for an unlimited amount of time, and, it's consuming 241 watts, you need a power delivery circuitry that can handle that. We've upgraded the VRMs on all these motherboards with, premium components, to to deal with that. And we've also extended our heatsink design for the Z590 generation. Like the I/O shield on a lot of these boards is now a big solid piece of alloy that's integrated with the rest of the VRM heatsink. So you have all this surface area to dissipate that heat. I think if you're looking at a Core i7 or Core i9, the ROG boards, the Strix boards, those are not going to limit your CPU in any way. And even the Tough Gaming board is built like a tank. So
they always are. They always
as
are.
It should be.
Yeah.
Speaking of coolers, this is like a little thing that I just thought was really cool. We got two little holes, or two sets of holes for each.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if you have an older cooler, because it is kind of a new socket design, right? But a lot of times you need to get a new backplate when Intel changes generations, and a lot of cooler manufacturers will give you that backplate for free or for cheap, and they'll probably still do that this time. But you might not need it because we have built-in compatibility for previous gen heatsinks into these motherboards, which is awesome.
It is awesome. And one of the questions I wanted to ask, I saw this in chat, was, will any of these motherboards work with DDR4 RAM? What does the compatibility look like there?
So actually the answer is yes. We have, but there is a but. Yeah. You need to look for the ones with the suffix D4.
D4. Okay.
Because you can't just buy a motherboard and use DDR5 or DDR4 in it. You have to specifically buy one that's made for DDR4. The sticks.
Jake, if you go back to the article, we actually have a really nice. They have to be specifically built for DDR4. 12th gen core supports DDR4 3200 out of the box. So like we have the ROG Strix Z690-A gaming Wi-Fi D4. I think it's further down the page, Jake.
Okay.
Which is a really sharp board. It's a white and silver theme. And that if you're looking to run DDR4, we don't know what DDR5 availability is going to look like yet. We don't know what the cost is going to look like yet. And if you don't see the advantages of massive amounts of RAM bandwidth, and you just want to save some money or bring forward a previous RAM kit, you have that option.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Jake, can you keep scrolling?
Well, this is one. This is D4.
This is it. This is the D4.
No, not all of the. That's not it. That's the Z690-E.
Okay, sorry. I saw D4.
That's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, it's the silvery one.
That
is
the aesthetic on these boards, though. Like,
that's the Strix-A D4.
Can I just talk about just the variety? So this one has this gunmetal aesthetic with the M2 slot is right here. There's another one here, another one here. They're everywhere. I feel like the M2 slots are taking over the board.
So many M.2 slots.
You got this nice little gamer control plus, and then WASD, just kind of gamer aesthetic with this one. This is for cable management, I believe. This is like a strap for just cable management built in.
Yeah.
So if you're doing any cables running through from your GPU, that's just it's right there for you. A lot of really nice features. And then, same thing here. This is, again, another strap, but it's a completely different aesthetic. This one says Join the Republic, has a little bit more text on it.
Yeah, they look real cool. We really did, I think, knocked it out of the park for the aesthetics of this generation.
Okay. Speaking of M.2, can we talk about this Q latch and Q release?
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is this makes me feel like such a loser. But this was one of the most exciting things I heard about this. I was just people
are really excited about this, and for good reason.
Before we do, we're going to pick our winner. Yeah, let's just do it. Lantis Ed, please type in chat. You've won our giveaway. Please confirm in chat that you're here on Twitch, and we'll get you your $20 GameSplendid voucher after the stream. Yay! All right, congrats, man. Lantis Ed, GG's. All right, we'll have more giveaways at the end of the stream. We're not going to put a timer up, but before we wrap today, we'll do two more vouchers. But anyways, M2
not
latches.
all of the motherboards have this to answer Cyber Arby's questions. But so to put this in about a month ago, I was doing an upgrade, and I dropped the M.2 motherboard screw into my power supply.
Oh,
yeah. It was not the first time I'd done that. I was able to get it out.
Those are tiny.
They're so tiny, and this is partially my fault, obviously, for not using the correct magnetic screwdriver, but it was far away and I was lazy. So I did it.
We've been there. We've all been there.
It's just so frustrating. And especially with how big graphics cards have gotten these days too, it's kind of hard to reach that latch sometimes. So this new Q latch for M.2 and Q release for PCIe cards is amazing. This is all of my dreams coming true. They're basically like these little buttons that are or latches that are much easier to kind of quick release these cards out of their slots instead of using screws or the tougher to reach latch.
So for M2s, there's a little, there's just a little retainer that you twist into, you just like twist into place. You don't have to screw anything down. One twist and you're done. And for the Q release, for the primary PCI Express by 16 slot, there's usually a button at the front edge of the motherboard. You just press that, and the locking clip on the PCI Express slot, that button moves that slot, and you don't have to like jam your finger like way down in there and like try and get it around the graphics card or the M.2 heatsink or anything like that. You just press a button, it pops out, you're good to go if you need to replace your graphics card or take it out for any reason. So yeah, that's a really cool quality of life enhancement. Yeah.
Now, are these only on the Maximus boards right now?
No, there's Strix boards with it.
Oh, there are Strix boards with it?
Yeah, okay. The Strix boards nice. Mostly appear to have it.
Okay, then that's my make or break feature for like that's what decides what motherboard I get. Is like, man,
at least the higher end Strix boards do.
It's so dumb because like I only will do that a couple times through the entire life of my machine, but every time I'm just like, I just get so frustrated by it because I always do something dumb.
I think this is
because I'm an idiot.
I think this is my favorite board, but like you said, Whitson, as we both use Noctua heat sinks for our CPU, they're massive. You can't enjoy this motherboard without a proper AIO. Do I need to go
back to the AIO life?
Man,
it's been a long time.
This is a beauty. I love it.
But I'm willing to do it for this.
We've got some good ones. The Revision 2s are really sweet,
so. We do.
The white aesthetic.
I literally just upgraded my machine. So I'm probably...
I know, my machine's like 3 months old, and I'm sitting here like...
It's a weird feeling, isn't it? To be like looking at this and say, oh, this is an upgrade I actually want to make.
I know,
yeah.
They're really cool.
As opposed to an upgrade I have to make.
Right.
It's just like more often. Yeah. No, it's like, it's starting to get tempting. Even though I literally just upgraded everything.
Time to sell my Dogecoin. Let's go.
Oh, Jake, you're about to get yourself canceled.
Oh, no. It's fine.
A minor on a gaming podcast?
I'm not a minor. I purchased. I'm an investor. I'm not a minor. No, I don't mind. I'm not about that life. I think it uses too much energy.
He only mines in Stardew Valley.
Hell yeah. Actually, I spend all my time in the mines of Stardew Valley. But yeah, no, these are...
Sorry, Jake. I know we've been talking about which board we'd get. I'm personally looking at the Hero because it's got the onboard Thunderbolt 4.
Strix, or is it Maximus?
No,
Maximus
the
Hero?
Maximus Z690 Hero.
Yeah.
Just because it's got the twin onboard Thunderbolt 4 ports.
Are you a Thunderbolt diehard?
I am actually.
I know there are a lot of you folks.
I've got an SSD that uses it. I've got an external SSD that uses it, and it's like if you need to move hundreds of gigs, it's like, oh, we have to wait around for USB 3. It's just done in like 10 seconds.
That's amazing.
And USB, just having those USB-C ports on the back of the board is really, really important to me. So, plus I just love the aesthetic. I love the aesthetic of the Maximus boards this generation. So I'm like, that would probably be my choice.
I don't use Thunderbolt, but I do care about just the sheer number of USB ports.
Right.
That could determine. Yeah. That could actually be the determining factor for me. It's just like Control F, which has the most USB ports. I'm buying it.
So Jeff knows that's like the biggest thing for me because I actively use 16, which is
for a streamer.
Yeah. Well, for a streamer, we got what I do.
Jake and I both have streaming PCs, and you look at the I/O panels on these things, and they're 100% occupied. Like we use every port.
Mine's 100% occupied too, and I'm not even a streamer.
Yeah.
This streaming, the fact that I'm streaming with Jake 3 times this week accepted. I'm not actually doing the streaming.
Yeah.
So it adds up.
I just have a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my...
I don't even know where it all goes. Like
mouse, keyboard, audio interface, Stream Deck. We got VR headsets, flight sticks.
I got a fingerprint scanner on mine and a webcam.
Webcam. I got 3
SD
capture
card
cards.
reader.
It adds up quick,
Right.
but I really got to say the Intel CPU. I beat the crap out of my Ryzen 5900. I'm not trying to talk down on them. I'm just saying you
do.
I am on the extreme level of use, right? And I push this thing beyond its limits constantly, and I'm just kind of, if I don't set OBS,
you would probably push Alder Lake to its limits too.
I probably would,
like a super high-end
but
user.
it is newer, it is theoretically better, so therefore I'm interested, right? Like I could definitely have used a 5950. They just weren't accessible. I couldn't get one. But
we don't have long to wait to learn for how they're going to perform, because the official launch is November 4th.
Awesome. So
that's
going to be really interesting. That's a week away. So a week away, we'll be starting to get some data as to what these CPUs are capable of. We know we've got a huge list of motherboards that are just gorgeous. But I think we should probably roll into the discussion on the other things that we announced at the event yesterday.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There were lots of other exciting.
There's tons of well, we're always making lots of things, right? But we unveiled these new PSUs, and I gotta just like shout to the sky with joy, because this exact color palette that we've now used in a few products is officially, it feels like it's here to stay. And I would have built a PC around this aesthetic if I knew that this was going to be a thing, because I didn't know this PSU was coming. I just bought a Strix.
I was gonna say, how much do you hate that
I just bought a Strix? So granted, my PC is all black. It's a black build with RGB, so it's all black. Go ahead.
Actually, I these PSUs are great. I wrote the article, so I know intimately what's going on inside them. So like the ROG Thor series has been our highest end PSU series for a long time.
Yeah.
The best components, highest wattages, that kind of thing.
Look at this chonker.
Yeah. So the 1600 watt is so we just released for the first time, I think, the 1600 watt titanium in this series. And this is a special PSU for a variety of reasons. That 80 plus titanium rating is the most demanding efficiency standard that you can meet. It requires greater than 90% PSU efficiency from loads from as low as 10% all the way up to 100%. So like you have to have just really tight regulation, really high quality components. We absolutely did use all that stuff. This is a digital control design. And we used gallium nitride solid state components inside it. I think if you're up on chargers, you've probably seen GaN or gallium nitride used.
Yeah.
And so like those are that's an advanced type of semiconductor component.
Interesting.
It's got we use those where they're best suited for this design. And we've tested this. We have internal figures. It's 93.54% efficient at 100% load, which again, 1600 watts is
it's insane.
So like it's not going to add heat. It's not going to add a ton of waste heat to your system. It's really tight power, and it's also quiet. Because like if you've ever heard a PSU under full load, for a fact that like they can sound pretty nasty.
They can, but I have a Strix 1000 watt. I'm really impressed. Yeah, it is a really nice.
Right.
Yeah, come a long way.
Yeah.
Because I mean, back in the day though, when I was like running like GTX 1080 Ti's and SLI, and like you fully loaded down the CPU and and the graphics cards, like even this other PSU here I have that's generally pretty quiet. It sounded pretty crappy. But again, this is something we pay close attention to because we know enthusiasts care about noise levels. We have our latest Axial Tech. Yeah, we have our Axial Tech fan in this thing. We submitted it to Cybernetics, which is another power supply testing firm. They have a noise standard called Lambda, and their most strict noise certification is called Lambda A++. And in an anechoic chamber, I think you have to have a PSU that produces less than 15 dBA, which is incredibly demanding. It's incredibly demanding, and like. This not only does the 1600 watt meet this standard, the 1200 and the 1000 watt units do too.
Wow!
It's like this thing is going to be super super quiet, even if you're loading it down. Obviously, noise ambient in the real world, ambient noise levels are higher than that. So, and depending on your measurement, they're going to be higher than that. But again, that's still the fact that it meets the standard emphasizes how quiet it is. and the fan will even stop at idle. We've got massive heat sinks in there, so you don't have to worry about running the fan at idle to keep it cool. But yeah, it's a really PSUs. You don't think of them a lot, but these are the most important components in your entire PC. Like Jake knows firsthand that an unreliable PSU or a flaky PSU can totally ruin your totally ruin your life. It can totally ruin your life. So this is not an area where you want to skip.
Months of testing, changing GPUs, changing everything with my machine, and it.
Guys, do not skimp on the PSU. It's not the sexiest part, but it is the most important.
You think 850 watt is good. I've never had a PC with 850 watt, but apparently it wasn't enough for a 3080. And
it wasn't.
And everything else I do.
We're not going to name names. We're not going to name names, but it also wasn't an ROG.
It wasn't, and that
PSU
was my biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Look, it was on sale.
Yeah, but yeah, so we have these we have these new PSUs. They're available, I think, from 850 watts all the way up to 1600 watts. And so, check those out. It's a really cool design. We have the Live Dash OLED on these. We have RGB LED lighting. It will really add to your system. It's like you find a case without a PSU shroud. Good luck, but you'll want to show these off.
Yeah.
Our Helios. Yeah, our Helios chassis will show this off for you.
All I can say is I need components for a full build with this exact aesthetic. The two-tone gray black with this I don't even need RGB. I just want that teal. I just want that clean look. I think it's gorgeous. We have the ROG Phone 5 had a version that looked like this, and it's like the best looking phone I've ever seen. So I love it. So let's just kind of keep rolling through. The Delta S Animate is our first ever. I mean, is this an Anime Matrix? Like, for real, it is an Anime Matrix on a headset. Oh my god, I love it.
Right? So isn't that awesome?
Yeah,
I'm really mad that I just got a different headset.
Yeah.
We didn't get the ROG Delta. Yeah, the ROG Delta had RGB LEDs. I have the Delta Core on, so I can't show. But the Delta proper had RGB LEDs ringing the ear cups.
Yep.
And now that you could customize, it did the full range of Aura sync effects. And now the Delta S Animate, you have the Anime Matrix on there. You have this fully configurable array of monochrome LEDs that you can use to do custom graphics and animations and stuff. And when you turn your head on stream or whatever, and people see that, they're gonna be like, "Oh wow, that's gonna be
a little Pikachu going, choo, whatever you want."
Yep. Yeah,
I'm literally thinking of buying. My wife needs a new headset, and I'm thinking that this is what I'm going to get her. And she
just
loves
put a surprise Pikachu face on there. Turn your head, do the surprise Pikachu face, show it on the ear cup.
Could you have a different animation on each ear, or is it?
I don't know. Okay, I actually don't know that.
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Happy face, sad face.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of using the Delta. I've had the pleasure of using the Delta for a while. It's got onboard DACs, so in a USB-C connector. So the source
USB headset.
Yeah. So the source of, no matter what your audio source is, the Delta will sound good because you just plug it into a USB port and it does all of that stuff on device.
Yeah, if you have a crappy motherboard that's not one of ours, that comes in handy.
Or even just a phone with a USB-C port, you don't know what
totally.
you don't know what the DAC is like in there, and so it's really practical for that too.
I have had some noisy machines before.
Yeah,
where the USB DAC actually does make a difference.
So yeah, I'm really curious to get my hands on one of these and try out the animations and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Moving on to something I'm curious in trying out. I've never used an ultra wide monitor in all my life, and I think it's a rather tragic thing. So we have the.
But you are a streamer.
You're right. So I should be streaming a racing game.
But you can't stream in ultra wide.
I know. This gorgeous new 30-inch display, 200 hertz. It's 2560 by 1080, 1 millisecond response time.
So the ROG. This is
You're
the
skipping
ROG
the part
sticks.
that I got the most excited about, which is the tripod mount on the stand.
Yeah.
For a mirrorless camera.
The ROG Strix, these ROG Strix displays, this XG309CM, and that we also have the ROG Strix XG276Q and the 259CM as well. These displays are sort of part of a new series that's targeted at core gamers who need not to say that our higher end displays are impractical or anything like that, but these are, we stripped out the RGB,
practically priced,
cleaned up the aesthetic a little bit, and we're trying to make this kind of technology more accessible to more people. But they also have practical features like this tripod socket that Whitson was just talking about. Like on the top of the stand, in the monitor arm in the back, there's a tripod socket there, so you can put like a mounting arm on the display and put your camera on it, and then you've immediately got
a mounting arm, or could you just screw a mirrorless camera onto that screw?
It's a female thread.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So you would probably need.
I see. But still, that's awesome, and I'm gonna say something that Jake is probably gonna hate me for forever. I actually have a mirrorless camera that I could be using for streaming.
Yeah, but I don't. What are you doing?
Specifically because, like, I don't want to put like a big friggin' arm or tripod behind my monitor, but if I had one of these, I would probably use it.
I've got so many things clamped.
Sorry, Jake.
I've got so many things clamped to my desk, and one thing that's always annoyed me is my camera has always felt like it was too far away. So I specifically bought a desk that is shallower when I built this office to remedy that solution. And now we've got this brilliant solution where there's something built into the monitor, because how many streamers are there out there? Everybody tries out streaming, I feel like. I've got so many friends that have at least dabbled with
a lot of people
streaming.
trying it out these days.
So mirrorless cameras, I've got two of them right above me. One of them pointing at myself, one of them pointing at my keyboard. And this is awesome. Also, the fact that the use case here where you could use one of our portable displays, or a smaller display just for that second, reading Twitch chat if you're streaming, right? Maybe you want your camera. Some people like the aesthetic of the camera at an angle.
Yeah, right. No, just rig up a mounting arm. Yeah, rig up a mounting arm on top of the monitor. It doesn't take up any footprint on your desk that isn't already there because the monitor stand is there. Yeah, I mean, it's really, it sounds. It's a simple idea with complex implications.
Yep.
Jake, I can tell the wheels are turning in Jake's head.
Dude, Jake's gonna buy all of this stuff tomorrow.
I know this is bad. I want this really bad. Like, it's not good. This is like, I've been saying this since I've been with the company for like a year now. I'm like, we need more products that have a streamer focus. I've been saying this for a while. Like, there's a lot of cool things. I've even written some emails. Headquarters been like, hey, I think this would be cool. They're like, thanks for the email. Never hear back.
This nerd's biased.
Of course I'm biased, because I've been living this stream life for a decade now. And this is super cool.
So the 309 CM is also one of the first ROG Strix displays that's going to take a DisplayPort input from your USB-C laptop.
Okay.
And it's also a KVM switch. So if you want to like have your desktop hooked up to it.
Dude, that's so cool.
So it's also a KVM switch. So if you have your desktop display hooked up to this, and you have like your keyboard and mouse hooked up to the monitor, I think you only have to run one USB cable back to the desktop. I think. You can. So like, again, it's just about cleaning up your desk, accommodating the way we work and play now.
And
most of us talk about this a lot.
Well, yeah. So like, one thing I've been saying more and more is there's this big debate. Do you need two PCs for streaming? And I really think the answer is yes, especially since we're looking towards encoding in 1440p in the near future. So if you're using two PCs to stream, that means two mice and two keyboards. But guess what? If you have a KVM switch built into your display, you literally have a toggle right in front of you where it's streaming PC, gaming PC, streaming PC, gaming, and it's all right.
KVM switch is a godsend when you have two PCs.
Yeah.
So expect more monitors like this in the future. The 309 CM is just the first. And we actually have the 259, we actually feature the 259 CM on our event landing page. It's got the same feature set. It's just a 24-inch or 24.5 inch 1920 by 1080 240 hertz monitor with these
1440p ultra wide, and I will just shove my money.
It may be possible. Stay tuned.
I know. I have to imagine that one day my dream will come true, and then I'll use that mirrorless camera maybe. And stop being a pleb. There's some good options to get that set up as your webcam that we can talk to you about in the future. If you're willing, it's always nice to pump it up. I have the camera. Yeah. That's the hard part. It's literally just sitting in a closet. That's what's so sad.
We'll get you that capture card.
We'll send you.
I have a capture card too.
Oh, really?
Oh, well. What are you even doing with yourself?
I having a super clean desk. That's what I'm doing with myself.
He wants the least amount of clutter possible.
Nobody needs that.
Another thing I want is this new Herculex graphics card holder. Just because, I mean, let's face it, if you put a 2080 and a 3080 side by side, you're gonna be like, holy crap, that 3080 is massive. They are big cards. They're just very big cards. And GPU sag is a thing. It does happen over time on pretty much any
Despite
machine.
our best efforts.
Yeah, no matter what.
It's gotten a lot better though.
Sure.
Yeah, like, my GPUs used to sag so much, and I have a 3070 now that's still like, it's very straight.
I have no sag on my 3080 Ti yet, but do I want to risk it? No. Well, guess what? There's a solution.
Jake, you're not going to have sag because yours is water cooled.
Yeah, you're right.
Mine
is nice and elegant. Yeah, you're right.
You jerk.
Got a gorgeous radiator on the back.
Just flexing over here.
Look, I wasn't flexing. You flexed for me. I was trying to sell the value of a GPU holder.
But this is like, it's also like it'll prevent sag and look baller.
These are cool.
That's nice. As opposed to just making a stack of Legos, like I may or may not have done in the past.
Yeah, these look really cool. They're the Herculex is it's the big boy. It has this this mounting it's like almost like an outrigger. If you've seen a big fire truck or a ladder truck, they have those outriggers that go out and like stabilize the rest of the system. It's got one of those.
Is that an actual level on the bottom of it?
I don't think
it looks
so.
like a level to me.
Not sure.
That's cool.
It does look like a level. I don't know what that is, but
yeah, it does say it has a spirit level in it. Good eye, Jake.
You can also use it to hang pictures in your apartment.
Incredible.
But yeah, so again, this sits independent of your PCI Express slot. A lot of these things bolt onto an expansion slot cover.
Yep.
And that might not be practical for some people. It's got the Aura Sync LEDs in it, so it's going to fit in with the rest of your build. Yeah, it looks cool.
Sold on Aura Sync.
Yeah. And we've also got this, speaking of which, we also got the wing wall, which is the one that does screw into a PCI expansion slot if you don't need extra. I think it actually becomes part of the
card. I think it probably becomes like a shroud on the side.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But it's also got, again, Aura Sync, the Republic of Gamers logo, and that looks really cool too. So, if you want to add one of these to your build, we got them for you. It'll fit in with the rest of our motherboards and gear that we just launched.
See, this is something that I would look into grabbing because it would just cover the GeForce RTX logo on mine and just bring a little bit of RGB into a spot on my PC where there's no RGB.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I think that would look cool. I'm actually gonna look into that. Last but not least,
Jake's budgeting out his Dogecoin.
I know.
I've got a lot, so.
I honestly don't know if Jake's joking at this point.
No, I have a lot of Dogecoin, like a lot of Dogecoin. But anyways, that's for Jake's retirement fund. RG Rapture GT AX 6000. So why is it only 4 and not 8, Jeff? Why is it no longer a spider? What happened to the rest of his legs?
Well, so this is a dual band router. This is a dual band router, not a tri-band.
Oh,
so
okay,
we've got we've got only 2.4. Probably one radio each for 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. It's Wi-Fi 6. We've got right. I mean, and so that again, this is about bringing Wi-Fi 6. Plus our gaming features in our networking gear to again a wider audience. And so you've got dual 2.5G internet port, or probably dual 2.5G WAN and probably a LAN port there. I would have to look at the topology to know for sure, but 2.5G. All of our motherboards or all of our higher end motherboards generally have a 2.5G NIC. If you're trying to use this on your local network, it's like this is a no-brainer. Hook it up there. We've got a quad-core CPU in there. Again, don't want to be held back by your router's CPU, and
which is a thing I've actually run into before. Like I think a lot of people
especially
cares about the CPU in my router. It's a
it's a real
especially
thing,
as these especially as you get fiber internet connections and you're saturating you're saturating that stuff. It's going to become more and more important.
I run a VPN on my router, so I can just like VPN into my home network if I need to access something while I'm on vacation. That kind of stuff takes up CPU.
Right. Yeah.
See, this might be the router for me. I need an upgrade, and this looks like the right size because I'm someone that my router is hanging on a wall. We have like a have a home network is all wired in my closet below the staircase downstairs, and it's all just neatly mounted on the wall. So a lot of our like the Rapture that I know with I don't know the exact model name, but it's huge. That's a big beef.
Jake has the GT AX 11,000.
I had one here for a little while. I don't have it anymore, but it's a little too beefy to hang on a wall. But so this looks like the right size for someone who's an Ethernet power user more than a Wi-Fi power user. This is going to provide plenty of signal to my home.
But I just built out my entire house with a gigabit switch, like a big rack mount gigabit switch, and I've like now I've made a terrible mistake. I'm still using so this is actually like this is going to make me sound silly, but at the same time it's like kind of a really nice thing to say about our routers. I've had this same Asus router for longer than I've owned any other router in my life.
Dude, my router's like 9 years old.
Gloriously.
It's like 8 or 9 years old. I've had it since before I bought this house. I don't have one
of the gaming ones. I just have one of the regular it's like the RT56.
Yeah, mine's not even ROG branded. I don't think. I think it's just an Asus.
Yeah, I've got one of our routers. I spent a lot of money on it back in the day, and just because it had good reviews, and I didn't want to worry about if I have to think about my wireless router, I've made a terrible mistake.
Exactly.
And I really like our interface for managing settings. And like even long before I worked for Asus, I was like, this is the only brand router I will buy now.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is like really I would have to get a 2.5 gig switch too, but now I'm tempted. This is the thing that's actually tempting me to buy like now.
I am gonna have a good time treating myself this Christmas because there's a lot of little upgrades.
But if I get this, then I have to get a new motherboard too. I didn't think that through because I only got gigabit on mine right now.
Mistakes.
Damn you, Jeff! I was so close to not buying all of these things, and now I'm gonna buy all of these.
I think you're in trouble.
Yeah, don't tell my wife.
Your secret is safe with me. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we launched.
We do offer 2.5 gigabit add-in cards. Good point. Asus Tech Marketing. I don't actually know who's running that.
I think that's JJ.
That's JJ.
Oh, hey, JJ. What's up, JJ? That is a good point. I did not think about that. I could pop one of those into my PC.
Yeah.
Or I could just buy a new motherboard.
But you really want a 12th gen core CPU. You really do.
I know I do.
You need it.
I literally just upgraded to a 5800X.
Time to update again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Speaking of which, I did want to bring, I think everybody, just to go off on a little bit of a tangent, I think everybody is really focused on like the Core i9 CPU in this bunch, but I really want to shout out the Core i5 12600K. Because that's a 6, it's got 6 performance cores and 4 of the efficiency cores. So like that's a 10 core, 16 thread CPU with all of this hybrid architecture, this brand new performance core architecture. It boosts all the way up to 4.9 gigahertz. Guess how much that is?
How much is it?
$289.
That is insane bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Right. So like if you're thinking if you're thinking like, the i9 is it's unattainable, this isn't for me, like I don't need all those cores and stuff, like there is something for you in this lineup. Like that is a really exciting CPU for the mid-range. That's nuts. Right, 10 cores on a even with the 4 efficiency cores, like 10 cores that you can distribute that work over with all this new tech, and turbo power 150 watts.
It feels like yesterday that 6 cores on an i5 was a big deal.
Right. I mean, again, like I'm not saying this is, it just changes the calculus a little bit, because like 6 cores, 12 threads has been the standard in that market segment for a very long time. And now now we have like 4 extra like Skylake class cores on the i5. It's overclockable.
I'm using a Skylake machine in my house. Like, right. I have
so it's I mean, so this is just, again, I think even if you're not like shopping in the upper end of the market and you just want like a good mid-range platform PC, take that Core i5 12600K, get like one of our Prime boards, or get one of the more attainable Strix boards or the Tough Gaming board. That's going to be a heck of a system.
Yeah, you're cooking with gas.
Yeah. It's like this. I'm really eager to see how this goes when everything launches. In a week.
I am going to try very hard to get my hands on, because I personally would love to compare streaming with a 5900 to an i9, the new i9.
That would be awesome.
Just to see what it's like, because I mean,
yeah,
I definitely pushed this machine to the limits. Yeah, we'll see. But guys, we are doing the final giveaway as we're wrapping up here. Glacial in all caps in Twitch chat if you want the chance to win two $20 Games Planet vouchers, one per the two winners. And yeah, we'll have that happen in a minute. Just want to also call out, tomorrow we're streaming Back for Blood on this channel, 3 p.m. Eastern is when we'll be starting. We'll be giving away 4 copies of that game. So full $60 game keys.
Wow.
We're giving away 4 copies of Back for Blood tomorrow. So don't miss the stream.
Don't miss that.
Yeah,
I may have to tune in.
I know, right?
If I can't win.
It's a really fun game. We've got a full stack. We've got 4 guys. We're gonna finish up Act 1 and try to finish Act 2 as well tomorrow. We'll see. We played it last week. We gave away 4 keys then as well, and it's actually really fun. I think the game just exceeded 6 million players. You said, Whitson? Is that what you read?
Yeah, something like that.
And
I've only played the beta, and even that was a blast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super psyched to get into it tomorrow. Get into the full game, because we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it feels really good. I feel like they've done a good job optimizing it. Tomorrow we start at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. I guess that's 8 p.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. for the rest of Europe. It's 3 a.m. in most of Southeast
time
Asia.
zone Rain Man?
I know. I used to run esports tournaments, and you're working with all time zones.
We're getting into the part of the year where different parts of the world are going to go off DST.
Yeah,
at different times.
That's my least favorite.
Keep in mind.
I didn't realize how much that was going to affect my life now that I work for a global company. Like, Taiwan doesn't actually do that, which is actually going to work out well for me.
Yeah,
because my meetings will be a little earlier.
Yeah, an hour earlier.
Manta Plays Game says, will you guys be doing the same with Battlefield 2042 when it comes out?
We have giveaways.
Obviously.
Yep. We have giveaways for Battlefield.
I thought he meant just playing it. I don't know.
We're going to play it, and we're going to give away game keys.
We will. Yeah, I would like to give away game keys.
No, we already have game keys to give away. We already have them.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. I've already announced this on stream before in the past.
You know what? You're right. I totally forgot.
Yeah, we've had them for ages. Yeah, but we do have game keys.
Yeah, we did. Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get a nice, 4, maybe we'll get like eight people together. I don't even know if we have 8 people that are available to play Battlefield in the stream, but we can try. Get a whole squad.
We had a blast with that in the beta too.
Yeah, very fun.
That was real fun.
Very fun game. Cool. All right, I think
that's it.
Yeah, that was a lot of news though.
It's really exciting. Like this isn't the kind of thing that happens every week. So like a new CPU architecture, new motherboards. I'm really here for it.
Yeah, this is it's starting. Tech season is starting.
Yeah, tech season is starting. CES is in a couple months.
I know. Isn't that crazy that it's actually we're days away from November? Can you believe that?
I don't want to talk about it.
Can you believe that? Like it's.
It's wild.
Let's not talk about it. All right, I'm closing the giveaway entries. We're going to pick 2 winners. You need to confirm that you're here in Twitch chat. Winner number 1, it is Portis Tafcp. Portistafcp.
Very pronounceable name. Fletcher says, I love this season when the CPUs start to bloom.
All right, Portis, congratulations. You're winner number 1. And AirPod Boomer, a name that I frequently see in our marbles games. AirPod Boomer.
AirPod Boomer. I like it.
Congrats. Just confirm in chat that you're here. Bam.
Are you a baby boomer who uses AirPods, or are you a guy who makes AirPods explode?
Asking the real questions here.
Yep.
We need to know the answers.
We have really good usernames in our chat. It always keeps me entertained. I don't know why, but that's just like a constant source of entertainment. Oh man.
Okay. Well, congrats, guys. We will have
good stuff.
Back for Blood giveaways tomorrow. I do need to wrap things up here as I'm legit rolling straight into a meeting. But this was a great conversation today. I hate how bad I want these motherboards. I really, really, really love
I mean,
my Crosshair 8 Hero, but I'm just like,
I love how badly you
well,
want it.
well, so the thing
Yeah.
is, I've been an Intel guy
That's my job.
forever. This is my first ever AMD CPU ever. And all of my like 8
Ever?
PCs I've never had an AMD CPU. I've used Intel since the dawn of time. And don't get me wrong, my AMD CPU is great, right? It was the right call to build this PC when I built this PC to get an AMD CPU. And it's really nice. But I'm someone that has loyalties, right? I tend to like have
Oh,
a
man.
loyalty and stick to the loyalty. And I feel wrong not having an Intel CPU. It feels wrong to me.
I mean, does it feel as wrong as I went into a Micro Center building a home server, and I bought like one of those AMD Sempron CPUs long after it was even remotely relevant. Like, it was the guy, I went up to the counter. It was like the only one left in the shop, like super open box, like $30 deal. And I walked up to the counter, and the guy just laughed at me and was like, "You don't want that. The CPU is like years old already." And I was like, this is exactly what I want. I was trying to build like the cheapest home server possible.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, it could be worse, Jake.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Cool, guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow for Back for Blood.
Yeah.
Jeff, congrats again on raising all that money with Steve and George.
Yeah. It was really, it's really great. I mean,
Congrats on playing the Wii so hard you made yourself sick. That's
yeah. Well, I would think to be honest, I think I was sick, but it did take us right before we went down there. But it took us 2 days to recover from that stream, so it's definitely feeling my age a bit. But it was really worth it.
get some rest.
We got a video from the hospital where all these donations go, basically demonstrating how those funds go to help them build out their neonatal ICU, all the equipment, all the space.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is really powerful, and so it felt good to do some good. So
Awesome.
yeah, congrats to Steven. Steven's been doing this for 10 years. We raised 131,000 last year. We raised 125K this year. So it's not a fluke. That community is awesome. And again, just
I actually missed it because I was at a funeral. Is there somewhere where like you can go watch the video?
I mean, there you can go to his Twitch channel. I'll share it with you. You can go to his Twitch channel and watch the VOD.
Twitch.tv/Stephen STEPHEN George GEORG. No underscore, no E at the end.
I love how both of those names are really common names, but he uses the uncommon spelling.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It's like double hard.
So yeah, there's a 21-hour VOD there. You can all watch us descend into madness as the night goes on and our sleep.
I saw the list of games you played.
So, yeah,
it was a good list. Lots of variety there.
Yeah,
I'll say
it's really great. So, and there's some really terrible games that we made really savage fun of. So it's well worth the watch.
Yeah, we tuned in briefly. Wife and I were playing Stardew Valley and watching on the TV, just being total degens, being useless on the weekend. It was wonderful. But guys, that's going to do it for our stream today. We do need to wrap it up. So we'll see you next time. Take care.
See you tomorrow.
Yep. Later.